What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Success Spectrum podcast. I'm your host, Kadeem McLean, and no notes. I just got a question for you. Who are you aiming to become? That's the simple question I have for you. And the reason I ask is because everything that you're aiming to do, when you're younger, they ask you, what do you want to be? Or what do you want to be when you grow up? Fireman, policeman, fire worker, police person, teacher, right? Principal, president, whatever the case is, right? Or being in Canada, the prime minister, right? And I think the most important question, because I think it needs to be reframed, is who are you aiming to become? Because these goals that we have, these visions that we have for ourselves, they are all predicated on being or becoming a certain person. I was having a conversation with one of my friends this week, and the conversation, somehow he said something that led me to asking a question. And the question was, who do you want to be? Because the things that you're telling me and the things that we're doing here are a little off, right? And if you say you want to become this or live this life, rather, that's kind of how it works for me, is you want to live this lifestyle. So are you currently doing the actions and being the person that you need to be that can attract or make this thing happen? These goals become a reality, this vision become a reality. Because if you're not, personally for me, the foundation is who you are. So we need to aim on becoming and being that person that can attract that lifestyle or those goals or achieve those goals and that vision. Now, for myself, I think I've said it on a previous episode, there's been times where I said to myself for a while, okay, I was waking up, I was reading my affirmations and my goals 3 times a day. And OG Mendino, I think it is, the greatest salesman, for example, I would read this, I think the tablets or scrolls, and you're supposed to read those for, if I'm not mistaken, 30 days, morning and night is what it said. But I was reading it morning, afternoon, and night. And so there's been times in my life, what I'm getting at is there's been times where I have read, my goals, my visions, even those scrolls from the greatest salesman 3 times a day. But nothing really changed. And the question is why? Because we always hear, right, read your goals 3 times a day and you'll become a different person, or you'll bring them into reality, or whatever the case might be. And while they may have had some residual effect, possibly, right, me doing those actions, but nothing tangibly changed, let's say, because I wasn't becoming the person I needed to be as I was doing those actions. I wasn't doing the necessary actions, let's say, to make it a reality, right? You're not just going to read these goals, these affirmations 3 times a day, and it's just going to come to you. That's not the way it works. Yes, it needs to be top of mind. It needs to be apparent in your mind. However, the actions we're taking, the decisions we're making, the work we're doing, the root work to become the individual we need to be is what matters most. I'm going to give you a weird analogy that just came to mind. Hopefully it works. An apple tree, let's say, is not going to produce, I'm trying to think of another fruit. An apple tree is not going to produce pineapples, let's say. No matter how much it wants to be a pineapple tree, we need to go down and we need to change what was planted, right? We need to kind of dig it up, change the root, let's say, and change the whole plant. So now you can basically plant a pineapple tree now. Right now, again, the question is, are you the person you want to be? And likely you're not. No shade or shame to anybody to who we are now. We're all human, right? And I'll give you an analogy about myself, or a story about myself shortly on that. But what I'm getting at is currently we do things that are not leading us to our goals, to our visions, to being that person we need to be to make it a reality. So us digging out that plant, those roots, is us changing those habits, changing our character, let's say, to really move in the direction of our goals and our visions of what we're aiming to accomplish. Because whatever we're aiming to accomplish, again, a certain person or version of ourselves is the one who can obtain that. So what I was saying to my friend is, he was talking about success. And if I remember correctly, what I was saying to him is, great becoming that person or achieving those things, but right now, are we the type of people who can sustain it? Achieving it is one thing, but sustaining it is another. So you need to be able to put the actions forward and, as well be the type of person who can accomplish or achieve a thing. But your character is what will keep you there. So are you the person that you need to be to sustain that goal, that lifestyle, that thing that we're talking about? Because if you're not, there is work to be done. There's always work to be done. But there's work to be done for you to be able to achieve that if you are not currently that person. So I had to ask him that question to get his mind running, right? To turn his mind a little bit, because we're always so goal focused, right? And again, to use Uncle E's, Eric Thomas's language, I guess, or verbiage, a goal grinder. A lot of us think of a goal and then we do what we can to make that goal a reality, right? Of course, we're human. We fall off sometimes. We get back on track. We accomplish it. We don't accomplish it. We change it. We adjust it, whatever the case is. But we are so focused on this goal and we do the actions to maybe to accomplish it, to achieve it. But then our character doesn't necessarily help us to sustain it, right? And not character, whether being good or bad character, but your values. Whatever is ingrained in you, did you adjust it? Did you plant something new so that you know once you achieve this goal, you will sustain it? For example, for those of us who are into fitness, right? You may have set a goal for yourself in the gym. And I know I've done this a few times where I'll just regularly go to the gym at least 3 times a week, whatever the case is. And times I go 5 times a week, 6 times, whatever. But I'll get to a certain point sometimes and then fall off for whatever reason, whatever excuse I want to give, right? I'm traveling for work. I've got this thing going on, that thing going on, buying a house, whatever excuse I want to give. But I stop going as frequently, right? I fall off a little bit. My eating takes a little bit of a hit. Not that I'm eating absolutely terribly, but I'm not eating as well as I could be, right? I'm not going for my regular walks that I normally do. I'm not going to the gym again as often. I'm not going for a run, whatever the case might be, so that I fall off and I revert back. But then I get back into the gym and I go right after it and I get back to that state of where I wanted to be physically, right? And of course, mentally and so on, because the gym is multiple things there, another conversation. But the point is, again, in that case, me falling off, did I really ingrain the discipline, not just discipline, but the character, the root work that needed to be done for me to continue going to the gym regardless? Some of you only do it for a vacation. Some of you say, okay, got a vacation coming up, time to hit the gym, my summer body, right? Or whatever it is that we're talking about, right? Sun's out, guns out. And again, no judgment, because we all do it in different areas for the most part, right? But the aim is to become the type of person who has the values and has ingrained certain characteristics and beliefs and traits that say, regardless of anything, I'm going to the gym. My health and my fitness is my life. Without it, what do I really have? I'm making it happen. I'm going to exercise, whether you go to the gym or not. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to make sure I'm drinking my water, right? And the funny thing about this is no matter how much I feel you may fall off or we may fall off, there's something kind of pulling you back once you have it ingrained. Because once you have it ingrained in you, it doesn't mean you're not going to fall off. Again, we're human. But in my experience, what happens is there's a constant pulling you back into the gym, pulling you back into eating healthy, pulling you back into drinking at least 3 liters of water a day, pulling you back into waking up at a certain time, right? Again, things got chaotic for me. You know, that's my excuse for falling off of the gym in my training that I do as well. And waking up early like I tell myself I like to, right? That's who I am. It's what I do. And without doing those things, my days don't feel as productive and I don't feel as, I'll say, clear and honestly happy without doing those things, right? As a subscriber to this podcast or a listener to this podcast, I want to give you $30. How am I going to do that? Enter Rakuten. Rakuten is a platform where you can find deals of the week. And on here, it doesn't matter if you're looking for clothes, doesn't matter if you're looking for electronics, services, food, you can get cash back. $30 cash back, rather 30%, 20%, 4%. You can get Dyson Yeti. I know a lot of us need to file our taxes. Those of us who are late, you can use Intuit TurboTax to file your taxes. Ancestry. There are deals upon deals on here. And here's how it's going to work. I refer you. You click the link in the description. You spend $30 on this platform, guess what? We both get $30 back. Sounds like a win-win deal, doesn't it? Go ahead and click that link in the description and get yourself your $30. So one of the things is we got to sit down and realize that for ourselves. It's one of those things that you do in a day that will make you happy. And I think it comes back to that perfect day exercise. This is a bit of a tangent, but Another question I've asked people is, what does your perfect day look like? What does your perfect day look like? And if you are unable to answer that question, no problem, but sit down and think about it. What does your perfect day look like? What time are you getting up? And really even before that, to be honest, what time are you going to sleep the night before? But what time are you waking up? Who are you waking up beside? Are you in a massive bedroom? Are you in a small bedroom? Are your kids in the room with you? Are they in another room? Is it nighttime still? Or rather, is it dark outside still because that's how early you're getting up? Are you going to pray first? Are you going to brush your teeth first? Are you going to the gym? Is the gym in the basement? Are you checking on your kids before you do all of that? Are you going to read a book, write a book, right? Go to your desk? Are you meeting with high-level people after you shower or get something quick for breakfast? Are you making breakfast for your family? Whatever the case might be, right? All of these, like every step of the way, what does your perfect day look like? Are you waking up in a villa? And that's your house. That's what you own. Are you waking up in a mansion or a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom? Whatever it is for you, saying what is your perfect day? Not what does society tell you your perfect day is, because there's a lot of noise we got to block out here. And again, I know I'm on a tangent, but listen, we got to block it out. Garbage in, garbage out. Do not let the world define your vision for you, your goals and the lifestyle that you're aiming for. Because if you do, we will not be able to see you. We'll only see the version of you that the world created, but not you and who you truly are and what you truly want and who you truly want to be. And therefore, we are robbed of who you are and what you can bring to the table and what you can add to your community, to your family, to your world. Tangent again, but that perfect day exercise. Who do you want, or rather, what does your perfect day look like? And then it comes back to that question. In reference to your perfect day, who do you have to become to make that a reality? Who do you have to become to make that perfect day a reality? Because again, if you're unable to answer that question, sit down and think about it. That's all. Sit down and think about it. And what I find for myself, again, is as you do that exercise, you realize, wait a second, because this is exactly what happened to me and a lot of other people I know. There are things in my perfect day exercise, right? When I think through my perfect day, there are things that I can implement right now. So my question to you is, once you realize what your perfect day is, what in your perfect day, as you think through it, can you implement right now? Or because it's maybe later in the day that you're listening to this, from your perfect day exercise, what can you implement tomorrow? And then start doing it. I'm not even going to ask you to, why not? But just start doing it. Simple, right? Waking up at a certain time, reading a certain amount of pages or time per day, going for exercise, drinking a certain amount of water, eating a certain meals or a certain whatever calorie, I don't know, whatever if you count your calories, all of that stuff. What does your perfect day look like? What from your perfect day can you take and say, okay, I am implementing this right now or tomorrow? Because that will help you to get a little bit of happiness, will it not? That'll help to relieve a little bit of stress, and that'll help you move closer to that perfect day. There's things in there you can make a reality right now. So what are we waiting for? That's what I have to realize for myself, and that's why I'm saying it to you, because again, once you do that, personally for me, I find it's difficult for me not to do those things. It's difficult for me not to do those things that I realized I can do right now that are from my perfect day. Reading, exercise, drinking a certain amount of water, waking up at a certain time, right? There's more there, but those things, when I don't do them, again, it adds a little level of, let's say, stress. And I don't know if anxiety is the right word, but on my mind, it's like, okay, I got to get this done. I got to do this, right? Not as a stressor, but the reason I say it adds stress is because I'm less prepped, and my mind feels like it's operating on a little bit of a lower frequency when I don't do those things. But when I do those things, my mind feels like it's elevated. I feel a greater level of confidence. I feel a greater level of progress and happiness because I'm moving towards making that perfect day a reality. So again, what does that perfect day look like to you? What goals and visions are you thinking of? Because we always talk about creating goals and visions and post them on your fridge or post them in your bathroom so you can read them when you're brushing your teeth, reading them out loud 2-3 times a day, all that stuff. And I'm not saying not to do that. I'm not saying to do it. Whatever works for you, right? I wrote a book for you, and it's called Wings of Abundance, your strategic guide to uplift and empower you to financial overflow. What this book talks about is, one thing I like to talk about is the financial map. There's 2 points on any map. One is where you are, and the next one is where you want to go. This book, this strategic guide, will help you to determine where you are and where you want to go, and will also help you to bridge the gap. We talk about money mindset. We talk about the application of all the information that you know about finances and all the information that's in this book for you. There's resources in the back of the book. There's bonus information in there. We talk about how to overcome debt, how to build wealth, generational wealth. There's so many different strategies in here that you can utilize for yourself to get you to where you want to be financially. So again, if this is something that sounds interesting to you or anybody you know, because it's written in a language that even teenagers could read it, go ahead and click that link in the description and get yourself a copy. It's great to, again, have your goals and visions top of mind so you know where your focus is. And it's a reminder to say what I need to get done in the day. However, in addition to that, and maybe more of a foundational piece, who do you need to be to make that a reality? If your goal is to create generational wealth for your family, who do you need to be or become to do that, to create that generational wealth, to build that business, to work that job and make sure you invest everything you make to build that up? If your goal is to become a bodybuilder, right? Or just literally be healthy and be with your grandkids and watch them go through high school and college. Okay, so if your goal is to be healthy, are you continuing to eat all these sugary drinks? Are you drinking more water? Are you continuing to eat all that fast food and junk? Or are you cooking healthier meals? Just because you cook doesn't mean it's healthy. So are you cooking healthier meals? Or because you're maybe a little bit older, you're saying, I've lived my life to this point, I'm going to eat what I want to eat, and being a little stubborn. Forgive me, but are you being a little stubborn? Just something to ask yourself. I'm not saying you're being stubborn, but it's a question to ask. Because if you really want to see your grandkids at that point graduate high school or college, and you're not being healthy, but you're more advanced in years, again, you got to become a different person. You got to change up your habits there, because we might not make it, right? Knock on wood. We might not make it, sorry. So again, whatever your goal is, think about who you need to become, what you need to do to be able to make it a reality. Who you need to become, or rather, let me say it this way. What you need to do is directly tied to who you need to become. And that's why I say, as much as motivation is important, we know it's fleeting. You're not going to wake up feeling motivated every single day. So on the days where you're not motivated, have you already ingrained within yourself, your character, your being, and your habits, what you need to do to become that person, even on the days that you don't feel motivated, to the point where you'll still do those tasks. You'll still hit the gym. You'll still wake up and not hit the snooze button. You'll still go and drink those bottles of water that you need to drink. You'll still eat those healthy meals, even though you don't feel the motivation. Because we can do anything on motivation, easy. When we're not motivated, your baseline, your character, your systems come into play. Are you that person? Because that's what that is right there. Your systems, your habits, your values, that even on the days you're not motivated, I'm still going to wake up and make this thing happen. And if you're not that person yet, what can you do today to move towards making that perfect day a reality and do the root work to become that person? That's it from me, everybody. Kadeem here. Appreciate you for listening and stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one.